Imagine there is a magic pill. When you take it, it will speed up the process of evolution of your biological body overnight, as per the Darwin's theory of evolution. All the unnecessary, unused parts, body parts and organs, they will get disappeared. When you wake up in the morning, you would be 100 times more beautiful, efficient, and confident. Can you imagine how would you look like? I hope that's not how you're going to look like. But one thing is going to happen for sure. One side of your brain will either diminish or overgrow. Now imagine the same pill, magic pill, has to be taken by a classroom of students. How would they look like? What's happening with the missing right side of the brain? I have 3 kids. If I have to imagine my kids take that pill, I definitely don't want them to end up like that. And I'm sure any parent in the world would not want their kid to end up like that. We may not realize, but aren't we giving too much of emphasis on left brain development? Do schools really kill creativity? I mentor some students and they come back to me and say that, "Sir, I have a math class, so boring." So there should be some fact in it, right? So I was also curious to understand if schools really kill creativity. I took the NCERT textbooks, especially the science textbook, 5th grade to 12th grade, and I did an analysis, and I found something interesting. The words like why, what, prove, solve, explain, that activates the left brain, the instructions constitute of about 95% of these words. Whereas the words like think, imagine, explore, what if, constitute only 5% of these instructions. No wonder why students find the subjects very, very dry and boring. Children up to the age of 18, they spend their prime years and prime time of the day in the school studying these subjects. What would be the effect on their brain development? So, is it required to have creativity in us? How does creativity manifest? Ned Herman, an American creativity researcher, found that creativity is a whole brain process. That means that there is involvement of left brain and right brain, activities happening in tandem. Only then the creativity manifests. For example, if I have to ask you to calculate how much is 98 plus 5, and if you try to do so, and if you have an answer, your left brain is at work. Your left brain will analyze data, reason out, calculate numbers, validate that information, gives it back to you, and also helps you plan, prepare, and organize. That's the job of your left brain. That is what you are getting trained in the school for, isn't it? Now imagine a big, huge African elephant that is pink in color, that has huge yellow wings. It looks at you, smiles at you. Can you imagine that mental picture? If you're able to, then your right brain is at work. Now let us say your right brain is saying that huge elephant, which is pink in color, with yellow wings, looking at you, smiling at you, says, "Hey, I'm going to this magical wonderland in Mars. Would you like to join me?" Your left brain must be saying, "Oh, come on, this is all ridiculous. How can you sit on an elephant and fly?" And then the right brain says, "Wait a minute, hold on. How about the huge body of the elephant being like a capsule in which you can sit? And how about the trunk being a telescopic probe? How about the wings are like propeller?" Now the left brain is listening to you and saying, "Okay, go on. You are making sense." You see, this information flow from right brain to left brain, it is facilitated by corpus callosum. And when this exchange of information happens between both sides of the brain, creativity manifests. So imagine you have a nice bike called as ideation bike. When you ride it, you get plenty of ideas and you're going on an innovation highway at 200 kilometers per hour. But the only problem is one of the tires is flat. Can you come up with ideas? You need to have both parts of the brain to function efficiently and for the creativity to manifest. But you may say, what is the need for creativity? What is the need of the right brain? Isn't it? Because we are all given this success formula. It's in fact coded in our DNA saying that go to school, study hard, memorize all the subjects, give your exams well, get good grades, get into a university, join only medicine or engineering, others are not safe, become a doctor or an engineer, and life settle, isn't it? Now for doing that, only left brain capabilities are enough. So why care about right brain? I'm going to give you 3 strong examples why we should care about creativity and right brain development. You see, we are just entering the Industrial Revolution 4.0, where automation, robots, and artificial intelligence are going to take the main stage. As per World Economic Forum, among the top 10 skills, creativity is positioned as the number 3rd skill that is required in 2020, not very far off. Whereas LinkedIn has given a report, 2019 report, which positioned creativity in position number 1. So it is just happening right now. Creativity as a soft skill is required to be employable right now and in the future. Reason number 2, the only differentiation between us and the robots and artificial intelligence is that we are creative beings, right? In fact, the industry leaders say that if you're not in a creative profession, and if your job involves monotony and repetition, there are high chances that they will be replaced by robots and artificial intelligence, and it is actually happening as we speak. Reason number 3 is the behavior. Creative individuals exhibit creative behavior. Creative individuals are risk takers. They are self-motivators. If they find a problem, they won't sit and cringe and cry. They will go figure the solution. I'll give you an example from my personal life. On the day of Diwali, as you know, we decorate the doors, the entrances with diyas and rangoli. And when we are doing it, my child, my first son, was 3 years old. He was quite enthusiastic. He wanted to come and light the diyas and celebrate along with us. But we said no, because we know it's very dangerous, kids and fire. So we said no, a strong no. He got upset. He ran back into his room. And we were busy doing our work. After 2 minutes, we hear him screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, Mommy, please come, please come." We were terrified. We went running to his room. There we saw Samvit, my son, smiling, jumping up and down, and pointing his fingers to this. He found a solution. He used the Lego blocks to replicate the diyas, and he was absolutely happy about it. Creative individuals find their solutions when faced with problems. That is the reason why creativity is important. So is there a solution? Can we rekindle creativity in our kids, in the schools, using the same very boring subjects? Can we do that? And when I say boring, don't take me granted. Try this out. Instead of a storybook, take a math textbook and read it to your child as a bedtime story. He will definitely fall asleep for sure, isn't it? I belong to a creative profession. I'm an architect and industrial designer. I have worked in global design studios all across the world. And for us, creativity is not a soft skill, it's a hard skill. We need to be creative. And we are being paid to be creative. And with my experience of designing products and services, this is what I can definitely tell you for sure, that subject doesn't matter. What matters is your instruction to make a person be creative or not. I will illustrate that with an example. Let us take this coloring sheet. Now let us say one of the person has painted this picture in this way. Yes, he has used odd colors. For the river he has used pink, for the sky he has used black, and for the sun he has used green. So there are two ways you can instruct or give instructions to him. Number one is, why don't you observe the nature? Be observant and replicate what you see in the nature. Makes sense, isn't it? So change the color of the sun, change the color of water, make it blue. Grass, let it be green. So just by giving that instruction, what we just did is we curtailed the wings of imagination in him. We are saying conform to reality, see what is there and do. What you're doing is use your logic, left brain, right? But art is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to do whatever you want to do. Now the second instruction can be like this. How about creating patterns in the sky? Use 3 colors, create patterns in the sky. The moment you say that, the individual enters the realm of imagination. So the subject is not the matter, the instruction is. So we can very well take the subjects of math, science, and social and turn them into a very interesting subject. And this is how you can do it. Let us say you just finished explaining what is calculus in your math class. Take some time and ask the students, what if calculus did not exist? And you have to find out the volume of this dome. How would you find out the volume of dome without calculus? Let us say you just finished a science class and you just explained what is gravity to your students. Take some time and ask, what if gravity disappears? What happens? How do we live? And let us say you just explained about the planetary systems and etc. in your social studies class. Ask, what if there were 2 moons instead of 1 moon for Earth? What's going to happen? Or maybe there is no moon. What's going to happen? So the what if is a very, very interesting word. To answer a what if question, you need to know what it is in the first place. Only then you can answer a what if question. 2 birds at 1 shot. So I get an opportunity to spend time with kids, and we use these what if questions a lot. In fact, during every summer, I spend time with 6th graders to 12th graders, and we take up some interesting projects trying to ask this what if question and challenge the status quo and enter the realm of imagination. And in this process, each individual student will be generating about 450 unique ideas individually in the span of 20 days. That's amazing, isn't it? I'm going to share a couple of ideas with you here. Can you all imagine a lock? How many of you have thought about a lock like this? What if a lock need not look like this? An idea by a 10th grader. A lock inspired by piano keys. Key in the right tune and open the lock. The application of that in various contexts can be different, but we just redefined how we interact with a lock and how a lock appears. The power of what if word. Another example, imagine there are a lot of relatives in your home. No personal space for you to sit and study or do that assignment. What are you going to do? How are you going to find a personal space? This is an idea by our 8th grader who has created a personal pod which uses the unutilized vertical space in home. Aren't they brilliant? These kind of ideas surface only when we ask what if and take the student to the realm of imagination, and we feed the fodder to both right brain and left brain. Only creativity manifests. Whenever I get an opportunity to go to schools, I take some props with me. Now imagine a fan, a pedestal fan. Make a mental image of a pedestal fan. How many of you have imagined a fan that has 3 blades and safety grill? Yes? Can there be a fan without blades and safety grill? Now, when I take this fan, a bladeless fan, to the children, they go absolutely crazy. They can't believe a product like that exists. They want to feel, touch, experience. They want to make sure that I'm not telling lies. You know, they fall all over the product and they try to experience it. And the moment they realize that, yes, it is possible, that's it. They are in a different world altogether. In fact, all these props we have kept in our design experience center, which is open for all kids to come and interact and enter the world of imagination and possibilities. In fact, I dream of having a bus in which we can keep all these props and send it to all schools across India, all the remote schools, so that they can actually touch, feel, and not necessarily watch them on YouTube or study in books. Children are brilliant. Let us not let their brilliance go in vain. Advise your students, whatever profession they want to get into, if they are passionate, let them get into. At the same time, develop both left brain and right brain capabilities. If a person is a creative individual, no matter which profession he is into, no matter how advanced the automation and robots and the artificial intelligence is, a creative individual will shine for sure. And that is very much possible by you asking the what if question in the classroom. Let us say you are a teacher, ask what if. Let us say your class is 40 minutes, spend 4 minutes of your teaching time, ask what if, and let the whole class enter the realm of imagination. And the what if journey is comparable like a treasure hunt. Nobody knows who's going to find what. Even the teachers doesn't know. Even I do not know when I'm interacting with kids what kind of ideas will surface. That is the beauty of that. You don't have to know what you're going to encounter. Now give this advice to your students. Whenever these ideas come up, document them nicely in your books. In the future, when you look through them, maybe you will find one of those ideas very interesting. Maybe you know a solution. Maybe you can make it happen, and that could be your life mission. And let us say you're a student and you want to exercise this kind of a what if questions. Create a what if club in your school. Get all the kids, sit together, have a teacher help you out. And let us say you're a parent and you can have these fun conversations with your kid. Ask, what if there was no television? What's going to happen? What if the mobile phone was not invented? How will people communicate? What if there was no electricity? What are you going to do? That will put them into the realm of imagination, and they'll help develop their right brain capacities, and then using their left brain capacities, they can cross-question, iterate their ideas, and become creative. So, please ask what if, and let the big African elephant that is pink in color, that has huge yellow wings, let it take you to the imagination world, and let us rekindle creativity in students and schools. Thank you.